It's been a while since I've done an update for the channel, and as I'm working on a ton of things off camera, I thought I would bring you a little taste of what is to come. This isn't necessarily in the order I'll post it of the videos, although maybe I'll try to do that. I don't know. The first thing I want to show you is the Quest for the Lost Pixel expansions video that I'm going to do. You may recall, if you're a longtime viewer, that my best of 2020 game was Quest for the Lost Pixel. It was the game I played the most that year. It was in close competition with Dark Venture, the #1 game for me in 2020. And the designer has generously sent me materials from 2 expansions to this game, Hack Slash and Loot and the Sunken Treasure expansions, and they're going to be bringing in some new mechanics, some new cards and treasures and benefits. You get some cheat cards if you can match these dice. We're going to go through and take a look at the components there. I'll put a link to my video, my original video on this game. If you're not familiar with it, you might want to check out that video. So I will be doing just a look at the expansion materials and a brief revisiting and review of Quest for the Lost Pixel. I've played this game since that video, and since I've had the game, I've played it numerous times, and it really remains one of my favorites. And I think it is, as I said in my Best of 2020 video, it's one of the games that's easiest to get to the table if you have someone over, if you can do that. If you have someone over who's not really a hobby gamer but wants to play a game that's not like Scrabble, this is an awesome one to take out and get to the table. So we'll take a look at that, and along the theme of cards, but something very different. I mentioned in a video that I did, I wanted to go through, these are some of the Game Master's Apprentice decks. I bought most of these fairly recently. I had the digital versions, and I bought the cards. I used one of them in a video I did. I even got the sci-fi deck. I haven't opened this up yet, but if you recall, I mentioned I was going to try to do something with Traveler, and I'm still trying to get together materials that are going to be helping me with the Traveler video that I plan. So I might use these, but I'm going to do a video, just an overview. I know these card decks are not new, but they are relatively new to me and my gameplay. So I will be presenting a video soon where I look at some of them and maybe do a short little demonstration of how I would use them. And as I said, I've already put them into one video, and they will be in some, they'll be incorporating these into the things that I use. In terms of actual solo play, I think the next rule set that I'm going to be demonstrating for that is going to be Cairn. This is a short rule set. I have been interested in it for a while, and partially, honestly, it was just the name and the look of the game, and it's inspired by some games I really like, Into the Odd and Knave, and we will be pillaging ancient barrows, stealing powerful spell books, and slaying horrid beasts for Cairn. And for that, I know that I'm going to use and demonstrate something from my own book, Wanderings. I did a video flip through of that recently, but I'm going to actually use it in a session so you can see how that it gets used. And I'm also going to use some material. This is Knock magazine. These are the compilations from the internet, and I also did a video on these. I'll put that link below as well if you want to check that out. And I'm going to go through and there's amazing material in here, as I said in my video, and I'm going to pick up something from, I'm not sure what yet, but I'm going to pick up something or things from Knock for the Cairn video. So those are some of the materials I'm assembling now. That will be, Cairn, I think, will be my next solo rule set demo that I do on the channel coming up. And I've been playing and slowly making a video on a very long game called Pencil Town. This is a game by Andrew Backhouse. It is a pencil and paper game, and this is a sneak peek at the Pencil Town I am building. I will be discussing this game, demonstrating it. It is exceedingly long. I've been enjoying it. There is, it's I don't want to say it's a map making game because you're making a town, but you are drawing the map as you make the town, putting buildings in, having effects that happen to your that happen to your buildings, that happen to your town through world events and such. And I will be doing a video on this as I'm attempting to show a little bit the development of my town and explain how this game works and what the rules are. So that will be coming up on the channel in terms of some gameplay demonstration. And speaking of games, I am going to be bringing you a discussion of the new Tales from the Loop board game. This is based in the RPG. It is published by Free League, which is also the publisher of the RPG, and we can take a quick look at the credits here. This is a scenario-based game. I haven't gotten into it yet. I just got the box, and it is a scenario-based game, but it is a board game, and it is using the world of Tales from the Loop, the setting, the characters, and loosely based the mechanics, but put in of the RPG, but put into board game form. It is cooperative, and as I said, it is scenario based in the sense of you have an unfolding story, so you are, as I understand it, taking certain cards for each of the scenarios that you're playing, and as you play through them, you're not actually clear what the goal is, I guess, to try to simulate some type of RPG session. So you're not sure what the goal you're trying to do is, but you have the basic mechanics of exploring around and the mystery and such. So I'm really looking forward to getting into this because the whole way my channel ended up diverging into, I don't want to say diverging, but focusing on solo RPGing was when years ago I took a game which was in the James Bond world, and per the suggestion of that board game, brought in materials from the James Bond RPG. And you could see that. I put the links to that down below too if you're interested in checking that out. That was really the first time I mixed a board game with an RPG. And it's interesting to me that all these years later, there is this explicit board game made from an RPG. And I know this isn't the first one, but I'm interested to see how the attempt is made, the explicit attempt is made to translate an RPG into a board game experience. Because as we know, and I've done videos on this on the channel too, so many board games profess to offer like an RPG experience. And I've done some videos, RPG in a Box, a game that I personally thought achieved that without even trying to. And that was the Herman Lettman's Zed's game, which the name is escaping me right now. In any event, we'll be looking at Tales from the Loop in the coming weeks on the channel and talking about the board game as what it is intended to do, and then probably getting into a discussion a little bit of the concept of a board game and an RPG and trying to mix the two of those things together. And then the last thing that I'll talk about here, a subscriber or a viewer of the channel posted a question about if I was going to get back to going through my best of Dragon Magazine volumes. And this is a volume 2 of a 5-volume set that I own, which was a compilation from the first 4 years of Dragon Magazine. And I did a video, again, I'll post the link down below, of volume 1. I paged through it, and it had been my intention to go through all of them. And it was always my intention to get back to it. So I will be doing that. This is as mentioned, a compilation of the This was published in 1981, but it's a compilation of the earlier editions, and it tells you in the table of contents. This is, and we'll get into this when we do it, but how they determined what they were going to choose, and then everything is listed here with its original publication date. And there's some really cool stuff like theory and use of gates. Here is varieties of vampires, blueprint for a lich. We have things here about the game itself. So D&D relationships, a whole and its parts, realism versus game logic. This is a often quoted, if you read gaming literature, this is an often quoted article here from 1978. What the game is and where it's going. We'll take a look at that. And a whole bunch of new NPCs, scribes and healers, etc. So that will be happening as well on the channel. Another page through, and this lovely looking dragon here of the Best of the Dragon magazine. So that's a brief look inside some of the things going on in the coming weeks of the channel. And as always, I welcome your suggestions for things to treat. I've got a bunch of comments with suggestions for RPG rule sets to purchase, and I've actually bought some of them. I don't know if they'll make it onto the channel, but I always welcome suggestions and thoughts about what you'd like to see on the channel. And as always, I appreciate your watching and sharing my content.